Hello, this is another oxygen not included tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to be building an electrolyzer system. Now to build this, all you need is common ore, a little bit of common minerals, and around 2 tons of copper. 2 tons of refined metal. I'm going to use copper for this. So that's because this requires a little bit of automation, a little bit of the good wires, but really doesn't require much at all. So at top we're going to have our electrolyzer room, and at the bottom we're going to have the hydrogen generators. So let's build the bottom first. It's just 2 gas tanks, 2 hydrogen generators. And then the top, seal this off. This is going to be a water lock. And then we want mesh tiles here and here. On top of the mesh tiles is where our electrolyzers will be. Below the electrolyzers, we want gas pumps like this. Not there. Then we want manual airlocks like this, this, and this. A gas pump in the middle, which is going to be for the hydrogen. Then we want atmo sensors in the corners there and right above the gas pump. So that's the basic outline of things. So let's get building that. Let's deconstruct this stuff. Implements. And I'll get back once this is done building. Alright, so now to power this, we're going to want to use the conductive wire in this case. So I'm going to build a couple of transformers like that. Make sure they're hooked up. And then bridge the transformers together. And we're going to go like so. And then we're going to want a switch here to so that we only turn it on once we flick the switch. So let's build this with a high priority. I'm going to have the switch be off. And then above the gas reservoir, we want a gas filter. This one is going to contain hydrogen. So basically, we want it so that hydrogen is going into this. And then we want a gas valve in the output. Oh wait, no. Sorry, I got things backwards. So first we want a gas valve. The gas valve goes in there. And if the gas valve is closed, it will go through a gas filter. And it's good to use insulated pipes for hydrogen. So that's going to go there, and also that's going to go there. and then this is going to go, do that later. This is going to go like this, and if it's not hydrogen, it's going to go into oxygen. So similar thing here. So this is going to go down into here, and then these are going to be oxygen. That's bridging there. Like this, yes. Let's go sideways, not down. So like this, this bridges onto here, and then this bridges onto here. That way the priority will be highest for the not hydrogen that's coming from the hydrogen area, and then lower for the other bits. All right, next we're going to do the water. So the water is going to come down this side here. And then what we're going to have it do is we're going to have it zigzag like this. Take up as much time as possible before going into the electrolyzers. And that's to even out the temperature. This means that we don't need to use gold or anything for the electrolyzers. And like the temperature difference, because the thermal capacity of the water is higher than the outputs of the electrolyzers, it sort of doesn't make a difference to do this. It just sort of makes it more even and consistent. So definitely a good idea. And we reiterate, we want to use regular pipe for this, not insulated pipe. No need to use radiant pipe, just regular pipe is what's called for here. And we also don't want to try to build here because it's going to be a bit tricky to reach some of these areas with the mesh tile in the way, so this is plenty fine. Not very breathable in here, but the dupes will survive just fine. Oh, also we want to bring the wire down here to the up there. And for this stuff, these are probably going to be like, those are flipped this way, so these are going to flip this way. This is just going to go sort of like that. Just directly into the main power spine. So this water here, what we actually want to do, remember this liquid valve from when we built the bathroom that's set to 2000. We're going to build a liquid shutoff here. And we're gonna, this is gonna be kind of spaghetti, but it's fine. So this is gonna go like this, and then we need to really just snake it around. So we need to hop there, and then hop there. Oh, this is backwards. And this is going to connect down here. And this liquid shutoff, we're going to set the tank to basically when we want to start draining this and when we want to finish draining this. So right now it's at 10%. So let's actually do 5% to, let's do actually like 5% to 2%, just so that we can see it in action right away. For automation, we want to put this through a NOT gate, because it's emptying, not filling. So we want that. Then connect this up to the shutoff. Let's raise the priority on this bit a little bit. So you see this is green because it went over the 5%. So that means this is going to start pumping out. Oh, shoot. My bad. This is going to start... This is 1 over. Okay. Fortunately, it didn't get filled. This is supposed to be water, so it's supposed to be coming from the output. Yeah, this liquid valve is supposed to be directly over the tank. We'll do it wrong there. Alright, there we go. So now you can see we want to use this water for the electrolyzer, because this water, we look at the contents, it's not really clear, but this water has a ton of food poisoning germs, but if you put the food poisoning germs into the air, it doesn't really affect anything. So, it's not a big deal. So, for automation here, you want to connect these, and these, and these. This is going to, we're going to set these to green signal if above 1,000. We're going to set this to green signal if above 500. And then we also want automation for the few other things. So for the hydrogen generators, we want an OR gate here. Oh, no, we want an OR gate there. So, where is this? Oh, no, this is a NOT gate. Okay, so this is NOT. And then OR. So we want to activate these either if it's required to empty the hydrogen reservoir. So we set this to 9590. So basically it'll turn these on once it's 95 until it gets down to 90. And then we also want to potentially activate these if we want power, and that would come from somewhere else. That's why we want an OR gate there. Now the hydrogen, we want to do similar, where it's like 9590. But in this case, it's going to be shutting off. You see it's going to turn red when it hits 95. So we don't flip this. We want to shut off the electrolyzers when we hit that amount so that it doesn't back up. Those are the two main things. This valve, we need to set to close for now. Yes, and here we would want to insulated pipes to connect the hydrogen to the hydrogen generators. All right, now we're gonna want to take the water lot. We're gonna want to do a couple things. We want to go to stations, and we want to actually start blocking this off to people that don't have Atmos suits. It's helpful to have a switch there to turn that on and off. And then we're going to want to make a water lock right here. So that's the hydrogen. Set this to water. Enable auto bottle. Alright, the water lock is filled. We're going to disable it. And now we're ready to turn this on. So you definitely want to save at this point. Turn on SPOM. And now we flip the switch. See what happens. So we want to look at the gas materials here. We can see that this has a layer of carbon dioxide. So to do that, we just switch these to above really quick so that they turn on. Or so switch them from above to below so they turn on. There's no duplicate interaction needed for that, and that clears out most of the carbon dioxide. Then we switch these back to above. And you can see there's going to be a little bit of carbon dioxide in here. Not a big deal. Because this is going to be generally vented out at the start before you build Atmos suit checkpoints and stuff. This is generally just going to be vented straight out. Let's actually get going on that right now. Let's just, we don't really need this anymore, do we? A bit of hydrogen can get in sometimes too. But you can see, at this point, it's only going to be oxygen coming in there. So actually, let's do it like this. Let's just deconstruct, reconstruct. It's probably the easiest way to get rid of the junk gas. We can actually kill the power while we do the deconstruct, reconstruct. If you look at this, yeah, no carbon dioxide getting in. Let's turn it back on. See, the only place hydrogen's coming through is there, where it's a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. So now what's going to happen eventually, these are both above, what's going to happen eventually is the whole top layer is going to be purple, and everything in here is going to be purple. And then that's when we can set this valve on, and we'll no longer be using the filter. Alright, so we're going to wait for this to become flush, and then I'll get back to you. Oh, I forgot. You also want to bridge an actual water source onto, not here. You want to bridge your actual water onto here too. The bathroom water takes priority, but you still need the proper water source. There it goes. There it goes. Alright, so from now on, this pump is just gonna deliver pure... You see there's already delivering pure oxygen. Now this is gonna deliver pure hydrogen. Because of the way that it goes, like the oxygen's not gonna be able to get up through this. So because of that, we can flip this valve on. And that means that this won't draw power anymore, and this thing will definitely be generating a lot more power than it's consuming. And that's it. You can see the temperature, totally reasonable. It gets a bit warm, but it doesn't get too warm because the temperature is kind of regulated by the temperature of the water coming here. Will always be maybe like 10 degrees warmer than the water, but the kind of ambient temperature, but really not very severe. Actually, more like 5 degrees warmer than the water. The water helps regulate it. And then this can heat up actually from the hydrogen generators going a lot, but that's just industrial machinery for you. Alright, so that is an electrolyzer tutorial. Thank you very much. Let me know what you thought in the comments.